Greetings, listeners. This is Philip, and I'm joined by Bede Jermyn from Tubi Tuesdays. You all know him and love him. We're delighted to bring you a special crossover interview with the Horror Returns and Tubi Tuesdays. Tonight, we are talking with Paul Ragsdale and Angelica de Alba of the upcoming Onlyfangs and the new cult classic Murdercise. How's it going, guys?
Doing great.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. It's always a blast to talk to directors and stuff. Well, we'll go ahead and start it out. First of all, let's talk about Onlyfangs. That's the new one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're working on that.
Tell us about it. Well, we see a lot of postings on our social groups, and it seems like such a unique and timely idea. What's the origin story, and how can our listeners get involved in helping make this film happen? Is it already done?
No, I mean, it's almost done. It's almost done.
Almost.
We're currently in post-production, and we're doing some pickup shots this month and next month, just to get the final shots that we need to get. But overall, I mean, we started the campaign, I think it'd be a year ago on the 15th of March, for this vampire horror comedy that we're doing. Onlyfangs, it's about, a group of vampire girls that start up their own app with the help of a wannabe monster hunter in order to lure victims and turn them customers into victims.
Great idea, by the way. I love it.
Yeah, and so we've been working on it. Yeah, for I think we started shooting in July of last year, and then that was like our big principal photography production time, and then we started shooting some stuff in November and December. And now, with winter, everything kind of slows down with the holidays and everything. So now we're starting to pick back up with the pickup shots.
Now, with Murdercise, or as I like to call it, the 4-time Tubi Tuesday award-winning film Murdercise, has gained... Exactly. Our fans of the show really loved you guys' film.
That's so cool.
and speaking of that, I mean, a gain of following very quickly. What did all of you do to promote the film, and how did it become so popular as quickly as it did?
I mean, it was a surprise how popular it became, actually.
We're still trying to figure that out, actually. I think it's a combination of our marketing strategy, which is not like that brilliant, but our concept tends to be to try to come up with a title that's really catchy and sometimes punny.
Yeah,
so
play on
Murdercise, Slashlorette Party, Onlyfangs with our newest one. So we try to choose a fun title, and then we blend our stories are a mix of like slasher with kind of dark comedy. So we try to have an element of like kind of silliness, and mostly our projects are more focused on being fun. So they're not supposed to be scary like in a typical horror genre, but they're more supposed to be over the top and silly and fun, kind of like the 80s style movies. And I think our promotions have been the way we promote our films has been to do photo shoots that are giving you a little taste of what to expect in film that we're trying to make. So we'll set up a photo shoot with the cast before we start shooting any film, and we take some concept photos, and then we put our title on it, and we're like, this is kind of what we're going for in our movie. So if anyone's interested in contributing to that this is like a taste of what's to come. And that's pretty much been our model since the first campaign that we did, and somehow it's just like snowballed into where we are today.
Yeah, we did a promo video, about 3 promo videos. We had, local actresses come over to our house / studio, and then we shot some videos with each of them. And yeah, people started telling me that they were like going viral or whatever. And that's like, new for us that they were even be aware of something that we did. So I think it was like, the aerobics, the colors, the spandex, everything, all that put together with the music.
Yeah. Funny idea and beautiful girls. I think it's always going to win. So
the music was great. The whole like retro feel of it and everything, the costume design, loved it. As for the cast, one thing Murdercise does very well is represent and celebrate all porn star body types. So was this intentional, and how did you manage to round up such a diverse cast?
Yeah, I think we are really intentional with the people we work with. We really try to select people that are going to bring positive energy as much as we can. Sometimes we can't meet the actors in person until they literally arrive in California to film. But over the years, we've picked up this big catalog of actors that we like to work with, and we have a lot of repeats. So if you've seen several of our films, and you'll see a lot of people sometimes from the beginning. You'll be like, I remember that guy. He's been in every movie that they've ever done. Or
That's
that
how all the
girl.
greats work.
Yeah.
We try to keep them coming back. So if they have a great attitude, they're fun to work with, they're talented, then we try to bring those people back and slowly add in new actors to collaborate with, and just keep building our network in that way. And then as far as like the look, we definitely have a script already completed by the time we're casting, and a lot of times we write with people in mind that we know, and if they're available and they can be in the film, then that works out perfectly. And if they can't, we try to find someone that fits the model of what we wrote it with in mind. So
I mean, it was a challenge because, I mean, like a couple people we never met before, like Kansas Bowling and Jessup Flux. So we never met them before, and so we couldn't see them in person to do any kind of costume fitting. So we just had to kind of get things that we thought would complement their bodies. You know, Kansas being very, very petite, and Jessup being very curvy. So it was like, you know, two ends of the spectrum. So we picked out quite a few outfits for both of them, you know, just for example, and just see which one fits best.
Yeah.
You know. So we had some backups, and if, you know, this didn't work, you know, if that didn't work, you know, we could modify. I think even a few times we had to like pin back some of their like shirts and stuff if they were too small, or, you know, or I'm sorry, too big, you know, things like that. Those are just like alterations and things we have to do just on set, like once we get with them. But for the most part, I mean, we did a pretty good you did a pretty good job of guesstimating their sizes and stuff.
Well, that's where spandex comes in handy.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly.
So far, all your films find a good balance between horror, comedy, and satire. Now, I know that is a tricky thing to kind of mix the three together.
Mhm.
So, how did you guys approach that particular tone before, with not just your prior films, but also for Murdercise and also for Onlyfangs?
Yeah, I mean, that's just the style that we
I think
like,
we
you know.
I think we just write in our own voices. So the tone is just very much a representation of who we are as people. So
Mhm.
we do have very different backgrounds as far as like our preferences in film. So he's very much knowledgeable about the horror scene, and obviously I don't know anything about that. I didn't watch horror films growing up. I don't know anything about them. I actually don't even really like them.
Mhm.
I'm very much more of a typical girly girl, but I do bring a very strong kind of, not feminist, that's not really the right word, but there's a strong female energy that's coming
Yeah,
through
feminine energy.
in my contributions as far as like the writing and my viewpoint and perspective. And as far back as from like Streets of Vengeance,
Yeah.
one of our earliest films, you could see there's like a very heavy like focus on strong female characters, and that's kind of been running throughout all of our projects. And I think where we blend well is in our comedic, what we think is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a really similar sense of humor, and we like things that are sarcastic and silly. And on one hand, we tackle really serious subjects, but at the same time, we're making fun of ourselves and trying not to take it too seriously. So if you're looking for something that has a little bit of a political view, it's there if you want to look at it, if you want to look for it. And if you don't care about that crap and you're like, I don't really want to get too heavy handed into that kind of trail, then you can just focus on the fun and the blood and the guts and the girls and
And the boobs.
and the boobs and all the fun stuff. But if you want a deeper story, then there's one there.
Yeah, it's always there.
if
for
you
sure.
if you want to.
Well, we think what makes a lot of your films fun, and it kind of continues from the ensemble question is the casting, and your cast members do a great job in their roles on the films. What's it like to work with them on like collaborating their performances? I know you said you like sometimes write stuff with them in mind. Did they get to like ad lib some stuff and help out with the script?
Yeah, I mean, not every actor is comfortable with ad-libbing, but those ones that are, we definitely give them that freedom. I mean, for example, I mean, the award-winning scene between Jessa and Drew, that whole thing was, written out, but it was only like half a page. And so we got with them to rehearse in their hotel room like the day before and just kind of went through it and just let them riff. And it just kept building and building. Drew kept saying more ridiculous things, about being in the union and shut the door, get out of my office, things like that. And Jessa just kept laying into like, look at my tits, look at my melons, and just extrapolating, going on and on. And we're just sitting there in the hotel room like, yes, this is good. Let's try to remember some of this stuff so when we get to set, we can do it. And so when we did that scene in particular, it must have been like a full 10 minutes or something. We just let them go, just go. Like, all right, yeah, that's good. Or, we'll cut and say, oh, hit that again. Or make sure you say party hats. I want you to say party hats when you're talking to Drew. So things like that. Yeah, those are like really cool. We get to riff. And of course, any physical or any kind of costume that the actors want to bring to their character to say, oh, can I wear this? Can I wear that? We definitely, look at it and see it and then evaluate it. It's like, yeah, go ahead and add this or go ahead and add that, Like, I think BB's character, she added a lot of her own accessories and stuff. Because we would normally provide a lot of accessories for everyone else, but if they have something to bring to the table, then we'll, if it fits, then of course we'll take it and add it to their character.
Right. We're definitely open to collaboration. So we provide everything as far as like there is a set script, so no one has to guess, no one has to improv, no one has to make anything up.
Yeah.
And there is set costumes, there's set accessories, there's set menus, there's set everything set. So the actors don't have to think about anything. But if there's somebody who really wants to invest in their character and say, can I add like these sentences, or can I change the wording around, or this wording trips me up a little bit, like can we rearrange it? Totally, we're completely open to that. Or if they want to pitch like wardrobe ideas, sometimes some of the actors will bring their own costumes and they're like, can I wear this? And we're totally open to trying, and we just
why do you have that?
Exactly. Whatever's gonna make us better, we'll take it. Ultimately we'll just choose whatever's gonna be best, the most funny, or what's gonna fit the character the best. So most of it is prepared by us, but we're definitely open to collaboration for sure.
Well, I mean, Murdercise definitely looked like it was a lot of fun to be a part of, and very much obviously an ensemble effort. Were there any crazy on-set stories you would like us to tell about working on that film, especially with that cast?
None that I want to tell. I mean, as far as like crazy
Murdercise?
Yeah, I mean,
or even in any particular film in your filmography as well, or even on OnlyFangs as well.
It was the dude with the beard, wasn't it?
I think you might be on something.
Yeah, that guy. I don't know about that guy. Well, I mean,
I do know that when we did the chainsaw scene with the Kansas bowling, we just completely sprayed her with blood, and blood just went everywhere. And then we had to clean it all up. I mean, that took a while. And then we did the chainsaw, because then we shot the actual head, months later, once the head was constructed, and we shot that in our garage with the chainsaw, with the real chainsaw, and it was just covered in blood. Everyone was covered in blood. The whole camera was covered in blood. And on OnlyFangs too, I mean, there's many times where Dan's behind the camera and blood just squirts at the lens.
We all get splashed.
So like that's always fun. But
I think maybe part of all of our films, because indie, you try to save as much money as you can. So I think every inch of our house has been used in a film somewhere that we've made. And our house, every room has had fake blood splattered on the walls or on the floor. And I was telling him, because we've painted a couple times, I'm like, I'm not no more. We can't keep splashing blood in our house. It's just everywhere all the time.
It comes out.
You'll find it like 2 months later, like this tiny little splatter that we missed. And you're like, that was from when we chopped that guy's arm off or
It's
something.
too high.
But
Couldn't
we're
reach it.
constantly using our house, and with Murdercise, that chainsaw scene where, well, at the end, I don't want to spoil it in case anyone hasn't seen it, but at the end where there's just all that blood just flying everywhere, that is shot partially at location in Stockton, and the other part, the reverse part of it, is shot in our garage. So it's like you can't really tell because of the way that we shot it, but our garage was just like drenched in fake blood, like everywhere. And I was like, "You're cleaning that. you wanted to shoot this in our garage, so you get to."
Well, it was worth it.
Do the cops
Just
ever
gotta,
get called or
close
anything
it
just on
down.
accident?
Our neighbors probably think we're crazy. Oh, actually, that's a funny thing from Slashlorette Party. We shot at a cabin for several days. And when we got home, we just dragged home tons of equipment and all the leftover stuff from what we had filmed.
Oh, yeah.
We were so tired. We just unloaded all of it into our patio. And we were just like, whatever, we'll deal with that
The
tomorrow.
porch.
Yeah, our porch. And so it was like fake body heads, fake arms, and they were all like already bloodied. And they were all wrapped up in this like tarp that we had used to like protect the ground inside the cabin. So it was like this bloody looking tarp that was like wrapped up with a bunch of body parts, and there was like a fake axe. We just dumped it all on the patio. Our neighbors had they moved in like that weekend.
Yeah.
And they came over to introduce themselves to us. They had to like walk next to like that big pile of body parts and tarps. They probably thought we were murderers.
Yeah, they were bringing over
Oh,
like
for
a
sure.
plate of cookies
Yeah,
or
they
something
came over
like
to,
that
like,
to be neighborly.
introduce themselves, and they're like, "Hey." I'm like, oh my
It's like
God.
Halloween stuff or something. Like, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Chainsaws and hella cleaning products. You're definitely
Yeah,
on a
we
FBI
look
list somewhere.
suspicious. We look suspicious for sure. We've thrown stuff away as well, like those tarps that have like body parts. I'm like, if any garbage person ever like opens the lid or like something falls out while they're trying to dump it, we're gonna look so crazy.
Oh, you're 100% under surveillance.
We're going to jail for sure until they figure it, like find out it's all fake.
Well, you've both made some films of various subgenres of horror. What's one that you haven't done yet or that you want to do?
I mean, I'm currently writing a demon type of story. I'm a big fan of, Night of the Demons and Nightmare Sisters. I just posted that on my socials today. And I've never done one of those before. So I definitely want to try that. And I think this one is going to be pretty unique. I would say
we haven't done anything with ghosts yet, so
no spirits,
no spirits,
devil, no demon.
I know. I'm too scared to mess with the devil.
Oh, sexy ghosts, so that could be fun.
yeah. So
Maybe.
I'm definitely thinking it's like a cross between Nightmare Sisters and Dead Dudes in the House or House Party or something like that. Yeah.
There you go.
That's silly.
Yeah.
well, we're sort of going back to Onlyfangs. Where did the inspiration for the film come from? Because it's a concept that we haven't seen before in a horror film. So I'm wondering, where did the idea of doing a vampiric take, I guess, on the whole Onlyfans phenomenon come together?
Yeah, I've always wanted to make a vampire movie, and I always had like kind of other stories or like little like notes written out for a vampire movie, and it just kind of never went anywhere. I just kind of put it off to the side. And then, like most cases, I came up with a title first. I just came with Onlyfangs. I thought, oh, that's pretty funny. I remember even texting my brother and saying, "What do you think about this as a title for a vampire movie?" He's like, "Oh, it's all right." And so I texted her too. I was like, "Yeah, Onlyfangs." And then for a while, it was just Onlyfangs. There was nothing else. It's like Onlyfangs. Like, what could it be? What could it be?
And so I was like, well, if you're gonna use Onlyfangs, like a play on words, then you're definitely gonna have to have something like app related because it's gonna it sounds so
it's gotta be
like,
an app. So a vampire app. It's like, okay, we got that.
We're like, why would vampires need to use an app?
Like
so
we gotta figure that out.
We're like, well, they would have to lure their victims in somehow, like through this app, and it's like, what would they do? And it's like, well, okay, well, we want to do like a girl version of Lost Boys.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's get these girls, and they're gonna create this app, and they'll lure in victims through it as pretending to be vampires. And it's like leaning into this like fetish, like, oh, who wants to get
Yeah,
bitten by a
just real
vampire?
vampire
So
experience.
it's because the customers are thinking like, oh, it's just girls that dress as vampires, not realizing they're
They're
real
actually getting bit.
vampires. They're actually getting bit, but
Mhm.
they team up with a monster hunter to create this app, and it kind of spirals. There's a whole bunch more messaging in there
Yeah.
as well, as
Well,
far as
see,
like
that part with the monster hunter, that came after. Like, I realized, I'd have to create like human characters, and I was trying to think, well, what would the relation be? At first, I thought it'd be antagonistic, like they would be against each other, and then I thought no, it'd be better if they were like a team. And that part I took from Fright Night, having a vampire move in next door. So I thought that's where I'll start. It's like some guy who's into monsters, and then vampires move into his town, and he finds out, and he has like a confrontation. So that's what I took from Fright Night, starting there, like vampires coming to your town, and are you finding them out? Like, you find out they're a real vampire, and now they're after you, something like that. That's where I was looking for as far as the conflict, and that's where it started for there. But yeah, we had the title first, and then the kind of the premise. And then from there, we created like
plus it was
the
like
heroes,
the element of
and
like
then villains too.
humans coming up close with vampires, kind
Mhm.
of like Monster Squad.
Yeah, Monster Squad
Like
definitely
Monster
was
Squad
a
vibes.
big inspo as well.
Yeah, but still pretty girls doing sexy stuff, and
Yeah,
all our typical signatures that we're known for.
Yeah, I thought, oh, this is surefire. Like, we got this.
pretty easy to lure them in.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Ended up being our biggest crowdfunder ever.
I know, so crazy.
Just the name alone is perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
Murdercise certainly paid a lot of homage to the 80s classics as well as the aerobics craze of the time. And with Onlyfangs, you guys are obviously going for a much more modern thing. What are some other big differences between the two films?
A huge difference is the scope.
Yeah.
I mean, Murdercise is essentially a one location movie.
Yeah. Okay,
So it's
that
all
makes
in the
sense.
studio. It's all contained in one night. And Onlyfangs is sprawling.
Oh my gosh.
So many locations.
It's so huge. After like a couple days into filming, we were like, what
were we thinking?
Why did we write this so crazy? There's so many locations. There's so many wardrobe changes.
Costume changes, yeah.
So many costume changes, so many kills. It's a lot. It was quite a bit. The cast is a lot. It's bigger.
It's way bigger.
It's like way bigger.
We flew in more people from out of state. We're in California, so Jessica's from Indiana, and we flew in Ellie and Drew, Marvick, Meredith as well. Yeah, a lot of people are just out of state, and they comprise of like the main troupe, like the main characters.
Yeah.
So that was a challenge for sure.
We're shooting all over the place, like all around where we live and the cities that surround us. So we've shot a lot in Oakland and Stockton and Modesto, and
we're gonna be shooting in Los Angeles and Vegas, and
we'll be in LA and Vegas pretty soon.
Yeah.
To finish up, but we are so close. We only have like maybe 3 more shoots.
I say 4.
Maybe 4, but they're not anything as nearly as big as what we've already shot. So
we shot the biggest stuff first.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the main difference, is definitely the size, scope, and locations, wardrobe, money, budget. It's totally different.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot more. With more money comes more things to manage.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot to keep an eye on. And
yeah, I mean, for Onlyfangs, I mean, this is the first time we really rented a lot of spaces for our locations. And Murdercise was, our friend, the guy who shot it, Carlos Rodriguez, that was his own studio. So the cinematographer said, hey, I have a studio you can shoot. So we shot there.
Sweet.
And so we didn't really have to do much. So yeah, it's that's the main difference, I would say.
Yeah.
Well, we ask this to everyone we interview, well, at least the guys here at The Horror Returns do. Are there any special foundations, charities, or organizations that are near and dear to you? And if so, how can the listeners get involved and help out?
I mean, we've done a benefit show for Planned Parenthood before. We showed a screen of Streets of Vengeance, so that's always been one of the charities or organizations that we support.
Yeah, we tend to support groups that are female centered. So they support women in some way, shape, or form. But specifically, ACLU and Planned Parenthood are the ones that we've teamed up with in the past to do contributions monetarily. So those, but I can't think of anything else off the top of my head. Those are the ones that we've worked with in the past.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I have to think about that.
Okay. Well, again, Paul and Angela, thank you so much for the interview. We really appreciate it. And where can our listeners find these films? I guess Onlyfangs is not out yet, right? So
no,
not yet.
Onlyfangs will be out in the summer, but Streets of Vengeance, Slashlorette Party, and Murdercise are all available to watch on Tubi for free.
There you go.
You can stream them for free. If you want to get physical copies, we do have Blu-ray copies that we are distributing ourselves, DIY, and you can find us on Etsy.com, A&P Films.
Don't we have stuff on Amazon?
Yeah, I think Murdercise and Slashlorette Party are also on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, it's been a minute
cool.
since I checked,
Yeah.
but yeah, Amazon Prime as well. But mainly Tubi. That's where it's probably the easiest.
Tubi's probably the best place.
Yeah.
We should have brought some of our Cali guys on. Nez is right in your neck of the woods, and he is a Blu-ray freak. He's probably already got a copy.
That's awesome. Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
Well, I definitely would say to even do the listeners of The Horror Returns, definitely check out your films, and particularly Murdercise on Tubi, and also listen to our show's episode on your film as well, because that episode ended up being very popular, and and our fans really enjoyed listening to it. And when we did our award show, you guys won 4 of the awards that you were nominated for. So
yeah, we couldn't believe that. I mean, we're definitely grateful for the awards Jessa got and what we got, the awards that we got for the Jessa and Drew scene. So
awesome.
That was pretty awesome. And we're glad to hear that. Glad to hear that your fans enjoyed it too.
It's always surprising to us that anybody anywhere has ever heard anything about us and took the time to check out something that we made. So thank you to everyone who's even taken the time to listen to anything we've said or check out any of the films that we've done. And we couldn't have kept doing this for as many years as we have without that indie community.
Yeah, without the community, we wouldn't be anything. So we're very appreciative, very grateful.
Oh yeah, we had a lot of buzz for this one coming around the Facebook group and stuff, and finally watched it. Had a lot of fun.
Oh man,
it's great.
Glad to hear
that.
Awesome. Glad to hear that.
It still boggles my mind because we just work like full-time jobs, like normal people. So the fact that anyone knows anything about what we do creatively, we're like, what?
Wow,
That's crazy.
It's very humbling.
Yeah,
normal people with bodies on the porch.
Yeah. Okay, maybe we're not normal people.
Yeah.
Any socials or anything you guys want to shout out?
Oh yeah, on Instagram, A_P_films is where we're always posting our updates. I just posted an update today about Onlyfangs, so you'll find all of our BTS videos and pics and anything that's coming up on our Instagram.
Yeah, there's a trailer for Onlyfangs, so if anyone hasn't seen the trailer yet, you can
check out YouTube.
Check out the trailer on YouTube. It's pretty fun. You'll get definitely a nice taste of what's to come.
Oh yeah,
for the film.
Yeah, and that trailer blew up too. We're really surprised by that. It has like 130K views right now.
And it wasn't just me watching it over and over again.
130,000 views. So yeah, we're on YouTube, A&P Productions on YouTube.
Awesome. Bede, do you want to shout anything out?
Well, yeah. Well, if anyone wants to find me out there on social media, you can follow me on Twitter, Blue Sky, and Letterboxd under Bede Jermyn. You can follow my work and as well as the podcast that I co-host, the Tubi Tuesdays podcast, on all podcast streamers everywhere via the Super Network, and as well as the website supermarcy.com.
There it is. And www.thehorrorreturns.com. Check out our Facebook group and our YouTube page. We've been posting a lot of stuff there lately. If you'd like to join us, should be a lot of fun. But until the horror returns again, good night.